Hey guys, wanted to go ahead and just do a redo of a video before, and what I'm going to do is just make this video shorter and right to the point, talking about some of the myths about 32-bit float recording. So when you look at some of the graphs online regarding 32-bit float recording, one of the most popular images is a big arrow going all the way up, and it goes 770 decibels. So first off, actually at that 770 decibels, you would die. Like you would die at around you would die at around like 200 dB. So when they say you can go all the way up, it's kind of like, yeah, but you're going to die. Like what's the point of that, right? The other thing that's important is that it's actually much less. So you'll look at, again, a big arrow that goes up to 770 dB, but the truth of the matter is it's actually more like 145 decibels. And I'll explain why. It's because it's limited to the SPL of your microphone. When you look at your specifications on the microphone, you have to look at the SPL. That is the maximum your microphone can go. And typically, that's around 120 to 145 decibels. And when you exceed that, what happens is, even though on the graph it won't show it's clipping, it'll distort. And I saw this firsthand actually in an experiment that I did with one of the microphones I had. And that microphone was the Rode Video Mic Go 2. This microphone has an SPL of about 110 decibels. And what I was doing is I'm not exactly using it the way they wanted us to use it. I was bringing it up close and I was yelling into it. And I was actually plugging in an adapter to a 32-bit float recorder. I used the F2, F3, F6, which are all 32-bit float recorders. And what happened is it would actually distort. And that's what I noticed with other microphones too. Like it's very, very hard to do it. It's very, very, very hard to do it. But there are times, like maybe 2 or 3 times, where I've actually clipped out the microphone, even on a 32-bit float recorder. And that's because it's limited, again, to the SPL of your microphone. And usually that, again, caps off at 145 dB. So the point and the misconception I want to say is like a lot of these arrows show 770 dB. But the truth is you actually cap off at about like 145 dB-ish is what I'm trying to say. Now, the second thing I want to say is, you'll often talk to people and who seem to, online or whatever, and they're like, you don't need a 32-bit float recorder. A 24-bit is all you need. What I do want to say is this. They're right, but there's something that's very important. And let me explain. So what I do want to say is when you use a 24-bit recorder, it works. But what happens, you got to drop the gain down. You got to bring it up. You got to drop the gain. You got to go back. Sometimes you clip and you're like, God damn, you clipped. You got to go back and redo it. But you can still work around it. What I like about 32-bit float recording is it actually, think of it as a cheat code in video games. It literally is like, you have like 999 lives. Like you cannot fail. Like as much as I was talking about, remember I was talking about this just not too long ago about the big old arrows? This is just like me just kind of illustrating a point, but what I'm trying to say is it's very, 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 very hard to mess up audio on a 32-bit float. It's actually like you have to really go out of your way to try it. In other words, you have to if you want to hit 145 decibels on a microphone and go louder than that, that's hard. You'll literally it's happened only 2 or 3 times ever for me, right? So the point I'm trying to say is that it's a cheat code. It is a quality of life improvement. It's kind of you could use the toilet paper you have at home, but I like Charmin. Or you could carry the groceries from your house to your home, but a car is a better quality of life. Think of it as you skip so many steps. You don't have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to do this. You don't do this. This is it's like you skip 10 steps. It's not every person, but when a standard 24-bit person is doing this step and that step and that step and that step and that step, and then they get here, you know what you do? You go, wink, 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 wink. I'm right here. It's like you jump. You know what I mean? It's a cheat code. So that's how I look at it. It's so handy. It's just handy. It's super handy not having to, like I said, it's very, very, very hard to mess up audio on 32-bit float, which is why I like it. Do you need it? No, you don't. You don't need it, but it's handy. That's all I got to say. All right, you guys have a great one. All right, bye.